the two basic areas of statistics. In the week 1 and week 2, we are going to be discussing descriptive statistics. What I mean by that, we are going to be arranging, summarizing, and presenting the data into a convenient form to enable meaningful interpretation and support decision making. So today, guys, in the second hour of the lecture today, we'll be looking at the different graphical methods that we can use to help us to arrange, summarize, and present the data into a more convenient form. Okay, so we'll be using things like pie chart, bar chart, histogram, and so on, guys, so that we can make more meaningful interpretation from our data set. And again, at the end of the day, that will help us to get information for decision making. Okay, so I would say week 1 and week 2. In the week 2, we'll be looking at things like mean, the median, the mode, the standard deviation, and so on, guys, to get more information from the data set. So I would say week 1 and week 2, the lecture is going to be relatively easy. Okay, and then in the week 5 to week 12, we'll be discussing on inferential stats. Okay, let me highlight the keyword here. Inferential stats is about estimation and making conclusion on the characteristics of population based on the information that you get from the sample. Again, let me emphasize this. In practical situations, is that easy for you to get population data? Imagine, guys, if you have to try to get data from all the Chinese citizens. You know, in China there are about how many? 1.3 billion people there. Can you get population data from all the Chinese population there? I think that's impossible. Most of the time, population data is too big to obtain. It will take you too much time. It will cost you a lot of money. It's just simply impossible for you to get population data. Okay? All we can do is getting sample. But you see, at the end of the day, we want to explain our population. But what we have is sample. So somehow, we need to be able to bridge the gaps between sample and population. How can we use that sample information to come up with good estimation, to come up with good conclusion on what is going on with the population? That's exactly what we are going to do in week 5 and week 12. Week 5 to week 12. We'll be looking at these different techniques that we can use to come up with good estimation, to come up with good conclusion on population using sample data. Okay, that's what I mean by inferential stats. In case you are wondering, guys, week 3 to week 12, what is going to happen? Sorry, let me correct my mistake there. In case you are wondering, week 3 and week 4, what are we going to be studying? We are going to be studying probability. Okay. If you want to do estimation, that means you are playing with probability. Okay. So before we can do estimation, for example, we need to know chance. We need to know the theory of probability. So there you go, guys. I've pretty much given you an overview of what is it that you expect to study from week 1 to week 12 of the semester. All the things that I have discussed up to this point of times are based on the chapter 1 of your textbook. Now we are moving to chapter 2 of the textbook, graphical descriptive methods. As I said to you before, week 1 and week 2 is descriptive statistics. Today in particular, we are interested to look at the different graphical techniques that we are going to be using in stats. Descriptive stats involves the arrangement, the summarizing, and the presenting of data into something that is more convenient to enable us to make more meaningful interpretation that will get us more information to support decision making. Week 1, graphical descriptive methods. Week 2, we'll be doing numerical descriptive measures. So we'll be doing computations such as the mean, the median, the mode, standard deviation, and so on. Make sure that you bring your calculator with you next week. The graphical methods that we present here today can be applied to the entire population or sample. Okay, so in choosing what graphical methods to use, I'm not going to differentiate whether we are dealing with population data or sample data. Okay, what graph to use depends on what, guys? Depends whether you have qualitative data or quantitative data. Okay. So yes, you will be looking at certain techniques that will be more suitable for qualitative data. You'll be looking at certain graphical techniques that would be more suitable for quantitative data.